Today we're going to do subtraction of an expression. If you know how to do subtracting of an expression, you will be able to do adding of an expression. So as we said in class, the subtraction of an expression that we have here is going to be the 3 divided by x squared minus x minus 2 minus 5x over x plus 1. Remember, an expression does not have an equal sign, and the rules for an expression and an equation are different. So this is an expression, and these are rational expressions. And what that means is just that it's a fraction with a variable in it. Again, same thing on this side. It's a fraction with a variable in it. Okay, so in order to do it, it's the same thing as subtracting two fractions. So in order to do that, we need a common denominator. So that we don't get too much work, we want to factor this because this might be hidden inside of here. So we want to make sure that this is not in here, so we factor that. So you should already know that you ask yourself, what two numbers, when I multiply them together, give me a -2, but when I add it, give me a -1. And the answer to that is x minus 2 and x plus 1. And then we have this one here, and if we notice, there is an x plus 1 hiding in there. So that way we don't have to use and make it really complicated. We don't have to use it because it's already here and it's already there. The only thing that's missing is this x minus 2, so we have to do it to this side. So what we're doing here is we're going to take this and multiply it by x minus 2, x minus 2 here. So this becomes parentheses because otherwise it looks like the 1 is just being, let me get rid of that so that we can see that there's a 1 there. So you know that that's the only thing that's being subtracted. Multiplied out. The whole thing, not just the 1. So now we have a common denominator, and just like any fraction, we get the common denominator there. Let me get that. So we get the common denominator is x minus 2, and then x plus 1. And then on the top, we're going to have the 3 minus 5x times x minus 2. Then the next step is to distribute and find like terms. So we do 3 minus 5x squared plus 2. Because that negative belongs to that, so you're also distributing that along with this. Okay? Oops, parentheses there. And then we make sure I am missing, sorry, that's positive, so that's going to be 10x. Okay, so then the next thing we want to do is put them in order. 5x squared plus 10x plus 3. And one of the things is that with every fraction, we have to make sure that it's fully reduced. So we're going to have to try to factor that and see if there's anything that could factor into x minus 2 and x plus 1. So I could factor out the negative here and then just put it in the front. Because I would like to factor, if possible, without the leading coefficient being negative. So I could do that. If I distribute the negative throughout, I'd come back to that. But now I could just focus on this. Now, instead of going through the whole process of factoring, which you could just for practice, but what you want to do is say, the only reason why I am factoring is to see if it reduces or if it'll cancel with the x minus 2 or the x plus 1. If I factor this, will that at any time, give me x minus 2 and x plus 1, and I don't think it will. So therefore, we could just leave it like that and nothing's going to cancel, so that is finally reduced. So you could either leave it like this, or this one is also acceptable, but you don't need to go to this extra step. You could just leave it right there, because there's nothing you're going to be able to factor to get the x minus 2 and the x plus 1. Okay.